the government of Uganda, through UCC and other stakeholders, has presided over a revolution in the communication sector, both quantitative and qualitatively. This revolution has taken us from the so-called 2G to now 5G, and every stage of this generation come along with a lot of disruptions, with a lot of changes. We've seen the convergence, where now we can't talk about radio as an independent media, communication media, or a TV, or a phone. We see convergence now. 6G is coming with amazing speeds and enhanced convergence. During this period, we have also witnessed the emergence of the fourth industrial revolution with artificial intelligence and its Internet of Things, blockchain, ChatGPT, etc. gaining traction. However, we must acknowledge that this rapid change in technology, although beneficial and inevitable, poses regulatory challenges. And that leads me to the topic you have assigned me to share with you this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I can understand why journalists are interested in emerging issues in communications, especially more so in the media sector. Because if there is any single sector that has been disrupted by the new technology, it's the news media. This point doesn't need to be labored because you have all witnessed the changes that are taking place. Some good, some bad and ugly. Suffice to say that the new media technology has seen the mass migration of consumers from traditional media to online media platforms. While we had always known news media to comprise of two strands, print and broadcasting, a third strand emerged about 2 decades ago, the internet and the online media. Among other fundamental changes, this third strand has made it possible for anyone holding a smart device with access and data to become a journalist of some sort. That is to say, they are able to capture events as they happen and disseminate news to their audiences far and wide. Now, we had some place where to run to when online media came in. Because for them, they are not regulated, we had comfort in the traditional media. Whenever I read online stories, I have to confirm it with the traditional media. What is happening now? What is happening now, the traditional media is quoting online sources. Actually, I've been listening to some news on some radios where we hear news anchors quoting an online source, even without verifying. And quite in some instances, because the quality assurance in that space is really, to say the least, just for purposes of being a bit courteous, but quality assurance is not there. I know what you go through, the traditional media, quality control from senior editors, the editorial policy, but quite some of these platforms, these are individuals. A Nyombi Thembo, with his phone, starts an online platform and starts churning out news. Then the traditional media are quoting these people. So it's really a controversy because the comfort was that, okay, there's no problem with the online media, we can cross-check with the traditional media. But now the traditional media seems to be now getting the online media as their main source. It's really disheartening and it's a very, very big challenge. Actually, there are so many other practices which you look at and you say, where are we going? I know the radio, which masquerades of having a network of reporters throughout the world. They have people in Istanbul, they have people in Kuala Lumpur, they have people in Australia. But I was shockingly amazed to know that actually these people are not there. These people are in their own studios. So let's check with our Istanbul coordinate reporter and say what. Then he starts talking as if he's in Istanbul when he's there in their studios. We have gone that far, really. That's how we are trying here to adulterate the whole profession, and it is very, very disheartening. Terms such as citizen journalist to describe this new crop of untrained journalists. However, without formal training and all experience or professional ethics, this is a slippery road leading to potential breach of minimum broadcasting standards. This is worsened by the rush to break news before it has been verified as professionals are required to. More so, the boundaries between print broadcasting and the internet have more or less disappeared. While traditionally newspapers were exclusively in print and radio and TV were exclusively broadcasting, today traditional media have also taken their content online to tap into the audiences there. Newspapers, radio, and television can be accessed online. To make matters more sophisticated, digital technology has inspired a multimedia approach leading to print media incorporating audio and video in their online content. Another issue of interest is content dissemination on OTT, over-the-top platforms. OTT, for many of us here in Uganda, we just relate it to tax that was once levied on social media usage. But over-the-top means a media service offered directly to viewers via the internet. This includes social media networks such as X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, etc. In recent years, virtual debates known as Twitter, X Spaces, or Facebook Live have become common. You agree with me that these have many similarities to traditional broadcasting. However, they are not categorized as such because they do not align with the traditional understanding of broadcasting. Regulators, not just in Uganda but across the world, are grappling with how to regulate such emerging platforms to ensure that they are used responsibly. Obviously, as you know, you are in the media, the doctrine of the internet has always been that the internet shouldn't be regulated. Why should we regulate the internet? Actually, that was the doctrine of our big brothers, the Americans. Whenever we would go to ICANN, that was a big debate. Don't touch the internet. Internet is sacred. It has no problem. Until when one young man in Tripoli, spread content that was offensive to a certain faith. And because of that, 2 embassy staff in Tripoli were killed. Say, wow. So actions of one innocent young man doing things independent of government can lead to such a backlash. That's why now the narrative is changing. So maybe we have to have a second look at the internet. Let's have a second look at the internet. Yes, we need liberties. I will be addressing myself on the issue of liberties later, just in a summary. But so the actions of just one single person can cause a lot of problem to the country or to certain groups. So those are the challenges as regulators we have. Besides, we have also witnessed the emergence of online publication and online radios and TV stations. Again, regulators globally must keep up with such a trends and devise regulatory tools that can accommodate this new reality. Yet another issue in the regulation of the communication sector is the fading line between broadcasting and telecommunications. Telecoms are getting into broadcasting spaces, introducing TV apps. They are also getting into the digital financial services space by lending money. Regulation must be able to keep up with this development because they have implications, positive and negative, for the ICT value chain. Actually, when you look at what you ask us to do, can one single regulator regulate the media industry? It's a tall order. It's a tall order. Especially in the ICT space. You can regulate medical services, because maybe agriculture won't run on medical service platforms. There you can, as professionals, you can regulate that one effectively as a regulator. Yeah, but in the ICT space, the space is so fluid. Everybody is running on these platforms. For example, financial services. Now, you have seen us, we have said, let us break up these telecom companies into financial service companies, now regulated by Bank of Uganda. But the bulk of the content and all the substance moves on IT platform, ICT platforms. So there, we don't talk of UCC regulating financial services. We have to do co-regulation. We come in to regulate the platform, then the central bank regulates the financial services. Then, self-regulation is another concept which we should look at. That's why we want to see these constructs like UJA, like NAB, to be stronger, because really you'll be doing 60% of our work. If you enhance the professionalism within your constructs like UJA and the NAB, you'll do 60% of our work, because we can't regulate this space. It's really a tall order. It's a tall order. So self-regulation and co-regulation are the way forward in order to have meaningful regulation of these spaces. The rapid evolution of technology has led to older gadgets being constantly replaced to keep up with the latest advancements. Have you ever asked yourself this question? As we buy new devices, where do the old ones go? They are disposed of. Well, how and how? You might say. We know that the average age of a phone is about 3 years. That's the average age of a phone. And now we have around 22 phones in the economy. Every day, these are disposed of. And you know the content of those chips and everything, some content of mercury. So that's a very, very big issue, which is also coming up, the media, which we should look into as part of advocacy. Therefore, e-waste is now a major environmental concern, not only locally but internationally, touching on issues of environmental sustainability and public health. A recent study projected 4,500 tons of e-waste from ICT equipment in Uganda by the year 2022. It could be even higher than this. As the regulator of the communication sector, UCC, type approves or accepts communication equipment at the point of development and usage. UCC also works with both national and international stakeholders to promote adherence to the 5 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, and responsible disposal. Another emerging issue that might be of interest to you at the media concerns public health and safety around telecommunication installation. To fulfill our mandate of connecting the unconnected everywhere in Uganda, there's a need for operators to establish telecommunication infrastructure or masts in different locations. However, operators continue to face resistance from people who associate proximity to masts in their communities with potential health risks. Potential health risks. Allow me to assure the public, through the media, that UCC conducts thorough examinations to ensure that communications equipment used in the country is aligned with the safety guidelines established by a body called the International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection, ICNIRP. I wish to add that we are committed to promoting transparency in this matter to foster public trust in this installation, as we aim to balance the imperative of technological progress with the imperative of ensuring public health and safety. This matter of masts, or which we call cells, is now very, very important, especially with 5G. You've said with 5G, these cells are going to be near each other because we need ubiquitous connectivity all the time, everywhere. You see cells, radios are going to be installed on street lights, they are going to be installed within the building, they are going to be everywhere. But people have this fear. But don't worry, don't worry. Actually, somebody was joking. I don't know whether he made a bad joke, that in order a mast to have some negative impact on you, you must sit under the mast for about 350 years, not moving at all for 350 years. You're under the mast and it's on. Maybe then you can get some contamination, but as usual, let's not have these anxieties. The technology, yes, it can have problems, but even World Health Organization has come out clearly on this, that the safety, when you look at the benefits and some little safety concerns, the benefits far much outweigh the anxieties and the concerns that we could have. Last, allow me to talk about artificial intelligence, which is increasingly becoming part of our daily lives in our homes and workplaces. The key advantage of AI is enabling the gathering and analyzing of massive amounts of data at high speed to help solve complex problems, while saving time and effort, thereby improving productivity and efficiency. However, they are concerned that AI is a threat to human employment opportunities, that it facilitates misinformation by enabling the creation of fake but persuasive images and videos, and that it threatens privacy. Cases of chatbot providing incorrect answers are often cited as evidence of this. There is also concerns about being a threat to critical thinking as well as ethical issues. On whether artificial intelligence will disrupt employment creation and opportunities, this is not supported by available evidence. Global employment has increased rapidly with increased computerization and robotization. The efficiency gains associated with AI will lead to enhanced gross domestic product growth, creating other areas that need a human hand. A case in point is e-commerce. As it disrupts shopping as we know it, it is bringing enhanced opportunities in the logistics, physical distribution, and warehousing space. And of course, human beings, we liberate ourselves from routine, from transactive thinking to strategic thinking. And I think we are created for that, not this transactive thinking. So you find us even start thinking better than the machines that we have trained to learn. So this worries, people will talk about all sorts of things, but the understanding right from Silicon Valley to all the ICT knowledge experts think that every stage that machines will go in terms of imitating the human brains, the human brain will migrate its capacity to more sophisticated thinking so as to be over and above the machines that we have trained to learn. So that one also shouldn't be a worry. Of course, Hollywood will bring this content showing how robots will one day go on strike and refuse to take on our commands. But of course, anything that moves on a network, the network should be controlled. The network can be switched off and everything will stop. The brain that creates these wonderful machines will be liberated from transactional issues to strategic issues. So we'll always be ahead of the machines we've trained. Through the National Task Force on the Fourth Industrial Revolution has been working on integrating AI into the country's development agenda and ensuring the ethical, responsible, and secure design and implementation of AI technologies in Uganda. UCC shall continue to monitor the ICT ecosystem for new trends and developments and devising ways to keep ahead, or at least not too far behind innovation that disrupt the status quo and call for regulation. As a regulator, we shall keep on studying these new trends to ensure that we are at the top of our game. Like you should appreciate, innovators venture into things we may not imagine. So we must always regulate cautiously to avoid killing innovation that we may not be able to understand either evolve. You remember the debate when mobile money was being introduced here. I was lucky, I was the Minister of ICT, the Minister of State ICT in charge of communication. So I was at the receiving end. Even in Parliament, everybody was pushing us to regulate mobile money even before it took off. We consulted, we resisted it. We said, no, you can't regulate something you don't understand. Sometimes you'll be killing innovations. So we watched cautiously. Mobile money evolved with a lot of challenges. Today, it's driving financial inclusion. And some of us who were there when it was coming up, who were there and who resisted the temptation of regulating something we didn't understand, we feel very, very, very proud. So, as regulators, you know, I'm one of those people at my age who has so many, many followers on Facebook. Unfortunately, I'm missing out so much on Facebook. I have nothing to do about it. Why? Because the reason that led to the banning of Facebook are beyond the paycheck of UCC. You understand that? Yeah. We don't regulate Facebook. We don't regulate Google. We don't regulate X. Those are on the international web. They're regulated from their own countries. Even their countries, they are not. So we don't regulate them. So, yes, I've had. I also, when I reach on the table where people who could make those decisions, I'll say, yes, the people are saying they want Facebook, right? So I'll join you because I'm one of those people who are missing it. I'm missing it. If it was in my regulatory space, we would be doing something. But the issue that led to its banning are far much beyond our paycheck, our radar. It's very beyond. We can't regulate people we haven't licensed. We don't license them, so we don't regulate Facebook. But we have had. And definitely, the position where I am now, the cubicle I'm occupying for some few years, can make me go to that table where these decisions can be made. And I've had it. I'm saying, yes, the people are saying that we need Facebook, and including myself, because I'm missing so much. Unfortunately, now I can't use it at all. Even for you, you are lucky. I hear there's something called VPN. Okay, for you are lucky. You can use VPN. For me, my hands are tied. As a regulator, again, I can't go behind the government and start using VPN, something which they ban. So I listen to you. And yes, enabling environment. You just help us. Just help us. When on my inauguration, I was saying, yes, we want a very, very robust media. All of us want the media to be working like the way it should work. Especially the politicians. They need the media. Because you know how we run to you all the time. Don't you know that? Every politician will run to the media in that time of need. Of course, all the time, we want the media to talk good about us. That's natural. But also, you yourselves, you should really make sure that the issue of professionalism is handled very, very well. Gentlemen, I think now that I'm occupying that cubicle, I'll be sponsoring some of you to move with me, especially our upcountry radio stations. And we just go to one of the stations unannounced, and you see what is happening. I don't think there's anybody who would want such a situation to happen. For the great fourth estate, you know the fourth estate, the media, very, very strong. Fourth estate, the fourth branch of governance. So it's very, very important. But when you go to these radio stations, especially up country, and some even in town here, you can't imagine what is happening there. You go to a studio, people don't know what is going on. There's no programming, there are no editors, people are not paid, they pay themselves by blackmailing politicians and business people. That's the editorial policy. Every broadcaster is looking for a politician to blackmail or to kuana so much even without a cause. And really, it can't go on like this. So help us, even before we come in to enforce our licensing obligation, which I'll be asking you courteously to boldly put in all the studios, so that these reporters of ours, when they're in the studio, can be reminded all the time. Because this is a game which you enter, and the rules are very, very clear. We license you. You say, now, yes, we have given you the national resource, the spectrum, to use part of it. That's a national resource. And you know that in Uganda, we give it at about 10% of the economic cost. Because information is a public good. We shouldn't give you spectrum at the market price, because we want you to help us also do the work. So we give you the national resource at subsidized level. Go and inform, educate, empower people. No programming, no quality control. The workers are not paid. It's terrible. So professionalism, please, it should begin from you. Regulation should begin from you. For us, we should come in when things go bad. And I said, when you become a problem to yourself, what we shall be doing is to make sure that you don't cause us, all of us, problems. Yeah, we make sure that we stop you before you cause problems to everybody. So make sure you follow the rules. That's all. And this is not it, Thembo or Sewanyana or President Museveni or Minister Mario Munsi. No. These are rules which all of us know. These are rules which all of us know. Follow the rules and let there be peace. Yeah. So even liberties. Dr. Sewanyana is always talking about liberties. And he's right, because all of us want these liberties. But liberties should be really enjoyed in an environment of responsibility. Liberties without responsibility, I think they can cause chaos. We shall see content, very misleading content, which will say, no, the blood is not pumped by the heart. It's actually the nose that pumps blood into the circulation. And see, my late mother, for her, the radio was all it. Radio Yagambi. The radio said, for them it's not a Thembo behind the microphone, it's the radio. What they hear from the radio is like a gospel truth. So for us, especially the educated people in this room, we must make sure that what gets out of the radio actually is really, the worst should be near to fact. Should be near to fact, should be professionally produced. Quality control system should be in place to make sure that